Bernice Abubedu coming to you live from digital address GA0992539, also on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. They've been promised of a home and an education by successive government, but today hundreds of these children still live on the streets. Though the Gender Ministry launched the operation Get Them Off the Streets for a Better Life last year, the ministry says it's yet to begin the project. As the world dedicates the day to the street child, Nancy Emefadradosi reports many of them are still hopeful to see the hand of government and civil society in shaping their future. Every day, more and more children are forced to leave home to fend for themselves on the street, with an estimated 90,000 reported to be on the streets of Accra, scavenging, begging, and hawking on the street to survive. These children are either chased from home by violence, death of a parent, and sometimes divorce. Some are very young. I have seen 10-year-olds on these dangerous streets, facing life all by themselves. These are children with dreams on the street. The Children's Act states that under no circumstance should a person below 15 be allowed to work or fend for himself. These children sleep and live on the streets. 15-year-old Akwesi Owusu has been living on the street for the past 3 years.
I was very little. My mom said she didn't want me. She sent me to an orphanage as she claimed I wasn't her child. My grandmother came for me and took me to school. Before my grandmother died, she asked other family members to come for me. But several weeks after her demise, no one showed up. So I came to Accra to look for an aunt, but never saw her. I knew nobody here. I found a few of my age mates on the streets, and I decided to stay.
Life on the street can be cruel, even for older people. Akwesi lives this reality every day. He looks a bit hardened by the life here. He lives on tokens from drivers. That's not enough to give him the kind of future he hopes to have, to build a career as a movie producer.
I wipe the windscreens of cars to get some money. Sometimes people threaten us with guns if we get close to their cars.
Life is really hard. On the street is your home. Finding a comfortable place to sleep at night is nothing more than a fancy you will never have. So Kwesi and his friends sleep on cardboards covered with plastic bags, laid in front of shops in the most dangerous part of the city.
Sleeping on the streets is not an experience anybody should go through. We sometimes live several days without bathing.
When the sun rises and these children start their day, their hustle begins and ranging hunger pangs kicks in. At 7 a.m., some of these children wake up and walk several miles to the Christ the King parish to get the one thing that sustains them throughout the day: a meal provided by Father Campbell.
We started off in a small way over in the hall, in the parish hall, and looking after all those who walk the streets, those older people and those who have no work and those who sleep on the streets. And that's how we started. I started off just with 10, 15 people, and then just gradually more and more came, more and more young boys and some young girls, and those who were sleeping on the streets that came there. Sometimes the parents came with their children, they'd come for food in the morning. So we started in that way and giving them a breakfast every morning.
We're taking control, but some of these problems just won't go.
Most of these children having to drop out of school in their early stages. An art class is the only source of education at this point.
Some of them couldn't even have the confidence to paint or to do something, but now they are confident enough to do and to show their works after class. And some of them, even after eating, come for extra sheet to experiment from what they have learned.
These artworks you see here are done by these children who have been left without a home, an education, and love. Without proper parental guidance, children like these are exposed to all manner of social vices which seriously threatens their development, from drug abuse, crime to dangerous street fights. At age 13, Akwesi became a drug addict.
I joined a group of friends who smoke weed, but I stopped taking it after I almost lost my mind.
And as a means of survival. And on the street, people have labeled and categorized you in a certain way. How do you earn an income? You know, so you need to earn an income to buy food to eat, to pay for a place to sleep, because sometimes even when they get to sleep in the front of people's shops, they pay tokens. So you have to pay to use some washroom somewhere. You know, so it's first and foremost a survival thing that gets them involved in all kinds of criminal activities.
In November 2017, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection launched the Operation Get Off the Streets for a Better Life. The exercise was meant to remove more than 300,000 people living on the streets across the country. But what has become of this?
The idea is that we started collecting data, and the data we have collected is about 4,893. But when we were collecting the data, what we were doing was that those who could be reintegrated, we will send them back. So we have gone to the street, we have talked to some street children, we have taken their data, but not everybody is aware.
So it's about identifying the root of the problem and having the political will to deal with the problem, acknowledging the rights of the children. But if we continue on this cosmetic approach, we rather would worsen the situation.
They were born with dreams and aspirations, but without a home and education, this dream is bleak.
I want to be a doctor or an actor in future. I want to be a musician. To be a lawyer, journalist. And I want to become a president of Ghana.
None of these children want to be here. Every day of their life spent on these roads is a battle for survival. A battle they will never win unless you and I step in to support and save these dreams in the minds and hearts of the young ones who live on this treacherous street of Accra. Nancy Emefa Jadosi, JoyNews.